She come around the corner with 2 Mickeys, one for her and one for my dad.
Mm.
It's weekend eve, y'all. Y'all ready? You know what I'm saying?
Lit up for the weekend. Get ready.
Rest in peace, Miss Nadine. You know. Weekend eve, y'all.
Weekend Eve.
It's weekend eve. That's Thursday. Time to drink.
Right. That's probably why it's club night, you know, for a lot of spaces that I've been at.
Weekend eve.
Thursday night, getting club nights. Here we are. We're doing a show to, equip people with some knowledge on what's going on in the world. No doubt. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to another episode of CMCT. Change your mind, change your thinking. I am your host, Troy Skinner. Next to me is my co-host, the man, the one that got the plan, that can stand in front of any and everything.
Even no sleep. That's what I'm good at.
He's on some vapors right now, but it's all good.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Antonio Dean, no doubt. Welcome everybody, Thursday night, weekend eve. Weekend eve, baby.
And
happy weekend eve.
We got some topics we're talking about tonight, obviously pop culture. Hopefully you enjoyed our show on Tuesday night. We talked about a lot of different things, particularly generational wealth and how black people need to step into their greatness, man.
Start beating these kids.
Yeah, man, because they need it. Some of them are incorrigible.
Make them be children again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't be afraid to put that paddle to that hand, man. Put that paddle to that hand and that paddle to that booty.
Or hang them out the window like blanket. You know what I'm saying? Dude, what is that? Over the ledge? He was hanging them over the ledge.
Jackie Wilson, and
Michael Jackson hanging the fucking
yeah. So guys, we're talking tonight, just basically shooting the shit, talking about what's going on, brother. Talking about what's going on in the news, the different things that's happening. If you're watching us on Instagram and on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe us on YouTube. Share our videos, comment. We appreciate any comments that you guys give us. And on Instagram, make sure you join up with us on CMCT_show, the Instagram page, so that way you can follow us there as well. And keep up with us throughout the week and what we have going on before the shows are airing on Tuesday and Thursday. Tonight's topics are going to be basically about what's going on in New York, subway situation. That seems to be the national news of the day, and some other things we're going to be talking about. So if anytime you want to comment, anytime you want to chime in or correct us, we don't have a problem with that. If we're speaking out the side of our neck and we're wrong about what we're talking about, definitely would appreciate you guys to correct us and add in on what we may be wrong about.
Yeah, go ahead and correct me.
No doubt.
That's what I like.
All right, I like that headline.
Sure.
Violence is life. Yes, it is.
I'm just spitballing here.
Mm-hmm. Violence is life. Why don't we start out with our first topic of the night? The big news. Chokehold of Jordan Neely. Neely. Jordan Neely. So that's what's going on in the news right now. It's really taking precedent over what's going on in everybody's life, because we're watching this and we're seeing this and we're like, oh man, you know. And obviously we can't play the video out loud because of YouTube, get a strike and stuff, so we don't need that to happen. We're not going to show the video so much, we're just going to put it on pause. But if you know anything about this, if you've been keeping up with it, it's been making this round since yesterday. It's something that happened the other day. And basically, I lived in New York for 17 years of my life. And I know that the subway can be one of the most unruly places on the planet. To the point where there's been dozens of films made about subway violence in New York. It started out with the movie Death Wish, and then you have movies like Warriors and stuff like that. In the 70s and the 80s, man, the subway rides were the most terrible rides that you can be a part of. And so you always have different types of people. Homeless people who used to sleep, they don't sleep on the trains anymore. They make the cops kick them off the train.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, homeless people, people who have mental illness, ruffians, we used to call them ruffians, hardhead, roughnecks, cats that used to go through, that used to always scare me as a kid, man, when the guys walk through the subway cars, you know, we used to have the boom boxes. They used to, you know,
see what they could get into.
Yeah, you know, catching charges by messing with people. And so subway violence, you know, it kind of died after there was a shooting. I can't remember the dude's name, but he shot some people on the train, some black kids. I think it was 2 black kids and a Latino kid. He shot them, and you know, people called him a vigilante. He was going around shooting people on the train, you know. And that was a wild time. I think that was during the time of the blackout, the same year, if I remember. Anyway, subways are not the best places to ride. Buses, you know, because you're dealing with different personalities. You're dealing with different types of people. And this situation just happened recently, man, where this guy was on a subway, and he used to be a Michael Jackson impersonator. And so he would, you know, in Times Square, you know, dance like Michael Jackson, you know, get the little tips and stuff, and dancing and making people, you know, excited from the moves he was doing. And he would do it sometimes on the subway as well. But this one time, I guess he's lost a little bit more of his mind than he had previously, and this situation happened where he ended up losing his life. So, chokehold death of Jordan Neely ruled a homicide as outrage grows over caught-on-video subway killing. The caught-on-video chokehold death of homeless, mentally ill Michael Jackson impersonator by a former U.S. Marine aboard a Manhattan subway train was ruled a homicide on Wednesday as anger and protests erupted over the killing. The city medical examiner found the cause of victim Jordan Neely's this happened on Monday. Monday death was compression of the neck. The finding is a critical piece of the investigation, as police said that they were awaiting the results of the autopsy before determining if criminal charges should be filed.
They call it compression of the neck.
Mm-hmm. Compression of the neck. It means he choked him to death. The determination came after friends and elected officials expressed outrage over the death, insisting the homeless busker, what does that mean? Didn't deserve to die. What does that mean? I've never heard of busker. What is that? Gotta look that up.
I've never heard that word either.
Yeah. Busker definition. What does that mean? A person who performs music or other entertainment industry or another public place for monetary donations.
Never knew that. Learned a new word today.
That's got to be something that they added in the 20th century.
Busker.
Look at this. Why is it called busking? What do they call buskers in America? What? Who is the most famous busker? Buskers
that could be a word from overseas.
It must be. Let me see.
Dutch word or something.
A person who entertains in a public place for donations. It still looks okay. It says to busk. Probably. So they don't even really know for sure. Probably from Italian buscare, to procure, gain, from Spanish buscar, to look for. One in 1851, in the meaning defined above, first known use. I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. Don't know about that one. Let's see what the Cambridge says. Someone who sings, plays, or performs in a public place so that people will give money.
What's the origin of the word, though?
It says mainly UK.
I thought so.
Yeah, you did say that. So a form
It's
of
like some
folk
Dutch shit.
busker. It's a more current day phrase. I don't think. I think they took a old Italian word or Spanish word and made it what they wanted to make that shit. That's not. See, here at CMCT, guys, we make sure we understand the words that people are throwing in these articles. Because I'm sorry we had to take that little intervention and that time away, but it was definitely necessary because I ain't never heard that word. And I don't like reading stuff that I don't know, so. All right, anyway, the determination came after friends and elected officials expressed outrage over the death, insisting the homeless busker didn't deserve to die. Neely, 30, it's a shock it wasn't 33. Neely, 30, was a familiar sight around town, performing in Times Square and on subways as the king of pop. NYC is not Gotham, City Comptroller Brad Lander tweeted. We must not become a city where a mentally ill human being can be choked to death by a vigilante without consequence. At least 3 people were cuffed following a demonstration inside the Broadway Lafayette station where the chokehold happened. 3 people were cuffed. So the 3 people who were involved. At least 3 people were cuffed following a demonstration inside the Broadway Lafayette station where the chokehold happened and a subsequent march in the local streets. Dozens of protesters and police faced off during a tense vigil turned protest on the crowded uptown platform with activists chanting "Justice for Jordan Neely" and other slogans. They murdered a black man and his only crime was screaming on a train. Logan, a 30-year-old Brooklynite, told the Daily News. Sorry for laughing, but it's just so funny how they trivialize this shit sometimes. This should not have happened. If you're a native New Yorker, you've seen people having an outburst on a regular basis. That's not a reason to kill them. Friends Johnny Grima and James King came to the vigil saying they had witnessed the Monday incident. They fucking killed him, man. They choked him till he went unconscious and then they kept choking him, Grima said. We didn't do anything to stop it. To be honest with you, we are guilty of that, he added. That's interesting.
He got on them shoes.
Yeah, he was Michael all the way through, man. He had the glitter socks, the glitter hand glove. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office is probing the death. This is a solemn and serious matter that ended in the tragic loss of Jordan Neely's life, said DA spokesman Doug Cohen, promising a rigorous investigation into whether to press charges. The NYPD busted Neely 42 times, across the last decade, and he had a documented mental health history with police, with his most recent arrest in November 2021 for slugging a 67-year-old female stranger in the face. A warrant for his arrest on felony assault charges was issued on February the 23rd. When asked on Wednesday if the ex-Marine should be criminally charged, Governor Hochul said she had just seen the video and needed to find whether the state has a role in the investigation. There's consequences for behavior, she said. Neely was on the F train headed toward the Broadway Lafayette stop in NoHo when he began acting erratically around 2:30 p.m. Monday. Passengers told police. He yelled and threw garbage at commuters, prompting an argument with the 24-year-old ex-Marine, cops said. The quarrel turned into a brawl as the train entered the station. During the fight, the former Marine put the victim in a chokehold and tried to restrain him. Video of the confrontation shows the ex-Marine with his left arm around Neely's neck as they struggled. A second man helped restrain Neely, who turned on his side and continued kicking his legs until he finally stopped moving about 2 minutes into the video. Wow. Neely fell unconscious on the train as the ex-Marine held him in the chokehold. A conductor called for police, the video shows. First responders took Neely to Lenox Hill Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. King, one of the self-described witnesses, told the news that the scene was very disturbing to watch. He wasn't conscious. He wasn't responsive. And the man still had him in the headlock, he quietly said. Mike Cole, who created a GoFundMe page for Neely's family, described the victim as a very good Michael Jackson impersonator. He had enough Michael gear. Over the years, multiple videos have been seen across the internet of him emulating the King of Pop, garnishing thousands of views, Cole said. This is a long-ass report. He was a natural raw talent who touched a lot of people's lives. Jordan was a very loving and caring individual who did not deserve to have his life taken like this. Who killed Jordan Neely? The ex-Marine who applied the chokehold separated from service in 2021 following 4 years of him being in the corps. Attaining the rank of sergeant, the Marine said in a statement. Critics charged that the former Marine, based on his training in hand-to-hand combat, should have known how dangerous it could be to keep Neely in a chokehold for several minutes. Anybody that knows anything about chokeholds knows that. Years ago, the NYPD banned cops from using chokeholds like the one seen in the video after outrage over the chokehold death of Eric Gardner on Staten Island during a bungled arrest helped spark the Black Lives Matter movement. Friends and fans of the Michael Jackson impersonator say he was homeless and hungry when he acted out on the Manhattan train. So he's got friends, but still nobody helped him in that situation to avoid, being choked. Nobody helped him.
I still don't even understand really what the purpose of choking him out was. Was he attacking anybody?
They kind of said he was in other interviews. But, we don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. The ex-Marine was taken in for questioning but released without charges as the investigation continued. As he held the victim in the chokehold, he asked witnesses to call 911, police sources said. When reached by phone, he declined to comment. I'm not answering any questions, he said. I appreciate it, but I'm not answering any questions. The Reverend Al Sharpton invoked the name of...
That's how you know, they got this nigga Al Sharpton.
The Reverend Al Sharpton invoked the name of, that's what I was trying to remember, Subway gunman Bernie Getz in a statement. I remember that, yep, summer of '84. Recalling his shootings of 4 black youths on a train beneath Manhattan just before Christmas in 1984. 30 years ago, I fought the Bernhard Getz case, and we cannot end up back to a place where vigilantism is tolerable, he said. It wasn't acceptable then, and it can't be acceptable now. Coalition for the Homeless Executive
What's
Director.
to do with vigilantism?
We're going to get to that. Because we're going to get to that. Coalition for the Homeless Executive Director Dave Giffen said Neely's death was the result of Governor Hochul's and Mayor Adams's complete failure to provide the critical mental health services desperately needed by so many people in our city. The fact that someone who took the life of a distressed, mentally ill human being on a subway could be set free without facing any consequences is shocking, Giffen said. This is an absolute travesty that must be investigated immediately.
Man.
What do you think, man? What do you think?
I don't know, these are pretty good pictures.
They're very good photos. Very good photos. And she don't look too distressed. Neither does the other guy. Was this must be after he let him go, but they said it was for 15 minutes.
It probably wasn't exactly 15 minutes, but I have to look at the video.
Mm-hmm. Dude looked like Iron Fist. We talked about that before the show. What do you think? As an ex-Marine, should he have known that he was holding that choke on too long?
They don't teach them how to accurately apply the chokehold.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Me being an instructor, no matter who I teach, there's always that thing of telling people to let go after a certain amount of time, especially when the person goes limp. So to hold him longer than he held him, and I believe, of course, and I'm always quick to say stuff like that. That man was sacrificed. He was a sacrifice. There's always sacrifices throughout the summer. And I think that that's what this is, because that's why anytime you see events like this make national news, world news, there's something behind it. And this is making international news, not just national news, but world news.
Reason.
Yeah, there's always a reason behind it, but the powers that be, their sacrifices is for a purpose. It ushers into other things, and it ushers in other things. You know, mental disability and mental illness is a horrible thing, but anybody that lives in New York knows what being on a subway is like. They know what that shit is like, man.
I don't know, the BART in Northern California. Yeah, that's like party bus.
Yeah, it's Fruitvale. That's oh boy, but usually with cops, right? You guys caught a lot of that. God bless you.
It's like I said, it's more like a party bus, man. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets on there and people commute and go to work, and never really no crazy shit going on BART. Mm-hmm. You know, every once in a while maybe you'll see a fight or something, but the BART is fun. BART is fun.
Well, you know, being from New York, my experience, and you know, knowing people who still live there now, they always talk about how bad the subway is. It's nothing new that, you know, for Al Sharpton to compare it to Bernie Goetz, that was a different time, man. And it was a very violent time in the 80s and the 70s. The subway was not the place. You know, people got mugged all the time, man. The subway, beat up, raped. There'd be women getting raped in subway cars back then. Yeah. Not sure if that's something that happens now, but you know, the Guardian Angels, I don't know if you know who they were. They came around when stuff like Bernie Goetz happened, and the city was very much opposed to them in the very beginning because they thought they were a gang, and they considered them vigilantes. So they gave them a lot of flack. But basically what the Guardian Angels were guys who volunteered their time. They studied martial arts, right? You know, like how you and I do. Mm-hmm. And they would go and they would secure certain areas. There's always a Guardian Angel on a subway car, you know, and they would plant a couple of them on a subway, you know, and subway train, and those guys would go through, you know, make sure that nobody was messing with the people in the neighborhoods, man. Very admirable, you know what I'm saying? Very admirable type of scenario. But you know, when someone goes limp, man, they're not a threat.
No, they're not.
You know, they're not a threat. And, you know, my man, I don't know, man, and these other two guys that was helping him hold him down, and, you know, when I hear this stuff, because that's how I was with George Floyd, that knee on his neck for that long duration of time, it's purposeful, in my opinion. To give you a contrasting view or a contrasting perspective, there was another situation that happened in LA, very similar, where this guy went through it with another guy who was violent on the train as well, you know, and he went and, you know, skim through this so that we don't get caught up with YouTube.
Looks like it was on YouTube. It's probably fair use, honestly.
Yeah. He choked this guy out and kept him down.
That's a big white boy. Put his foot in his chest.
Yeah, he pretty much did the same thing. Came up behind the cat. You know, the dude was being belligerent. Came up behind him and put him in the choke. Did his thing. Boom. And his choke wasn't. Look, his choke is not even as pronounced as the other guy's choke. You know, that's like, and he choked him out with this because, you know, he's buff. Look at him. This guy, you know, he got some size on him. But he let him go. And that's the difference in this.
Yeah, he felt him.
He felt him go limp, so he let him go. You know. Right after he went limp. So with that being said, the difference is that it didn't take him 15 minutes to, you know what I'm saying, put this guy out like that, man. This was a matter of seconds, actually. And he let him go, man. He's like, hey, man, you just stay down there. You know, he's the hero of the day. I saw some news interviews with him on Good Morning America and stuff like that. They made him a little hero out of this.
I'd like to see the 15-minute video of the other one.
And see what that was, because you know, he held him for a long time. But anyway, this guy became a hero and probably got some serious dates from it. But it's a very similar situation. They call him the Viking guy, and he was going from the Crenshaw area to the Culver City station. So the likelihood of something happening was there. He's like, I wasn't sure if he had a knife or if he had a gun. I was more concerned about my safety and the people on the train safety. You know, when these guys come on trains like that, mentally ill or not, man.
That nigga had his shirt off on the train.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Swift and smooth, he releases the man who passes out on the floor of the subway under the seats. Going nowhere, other travelers express their delight as Adrian keeps his foot on the man's chest, repeating the phrase, stay down. I finally saw it escalating to the point where he was getting physical and people are getting pushed around. The whole thing is about to explode. I thought the best thing to do was to go over there and subdue him. Yeah, you know, somebody got their back to you. You go and put the chokehold on them. You know what I'm saying? Video of the incident was uploaded to YouTube over the weekend and has gone viral with over 1 million views. Commentators have expressed their satisfaction with the smooth way the troublemaker was dealt with. One wrote, the guy's foot was like Thor's hammer, can't be moved, laughing out loud. Another added, cool, now clone him 500 million times and maybe we can save the Western civilization. No, 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 you will have the Yahtzees in full power. Because Adam Kaczmarek is pure European. You look at that guy, you know. So you want an army of Vikings, pretty much. That's what you're saying. That's crazy. People said stuff like that. So that's what that difference is. Is this here compared to this, where he lets him go and just holds him down.
Yeah, no more white on white crime, please.
Right, right. Don't need any more of that. Rest in peace, Mr. Neely. Rest in peace, man. This is gonna be something. We're gonna see what's gonna happen with this. What do you think? Do you think this is a racial incident? Is this something that they're looking to push again?
It's probably gonna be another big one. Probably. But all of them damn pictures and shit, man, they're really, really high. You know, they always got the grainy photos. It look like don't nobody own a fucking smartphone these days and all of that kind of shit. But these are very clear for whatever reason. So there's no telling what's gonna come out of that, honestly. Al Sharpton's involved.
Yeah, it's about to be a pony show. Pony show. It's about to be
Al Sharpton's involved, so you know what's coming.
It's about to be a circus for sure.
Some another white person's game, or you know, whatever that shit is that they play with the system.
Yeah, I tell you, man. You know, I'm always very concerned when I'm in public dealing with certain situations. Anything that may erupt that has to do with violence. On one hand, can we blame this man in regards to wanting to intervene? On the other hand, should he be held responsible for how long he held the guy?
I think so. Especially if they can see the dude didn't have no weapons on him or nothing. Then he took it too far.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to watch. It's just another conversation that, in my opinion, if you study self-defense or martial arts in any capacity, you should be cognizant of this. This is something that we talk about with Wayne in class all the time. He feels it's very unfair that if you're attacked or if you're the product of a violent assault, that you should be held liable for your actions.
He didn't do anything, man. They said he was just loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they always throw up the history. You know, they said 44 times he dealt with the police and he punched the old lady till he got a warrant. But that had nothing to do with that now situation. And same thing with the other guy. The other guy didn't really do anything per se, but he did become belligerent.
Well, no, he was being very provocative.
Yeah.
You know, he was definitely inciting violence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
that was 3 or 4 people looked like they were standing their guard against him.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this develops in this situation with this, because I mean, I believe, like I said, I believe it was a sacrifice, but that's another story. Did the guy want to kill him? I mean, that's the only way they're going to be able to get a conviction. I mean, other than involuntary manslaughter, you know, which is, the question is going to be, they're going to go back to this Marine's past and they're going to say, okay, how did you learn this? Right?
That's what they're supposed to do. That doesn't mean that that's what they will do.
Yeah. You know, if the prosecutors are doing what they're supposed to do. And then they're going to go to his instructor and say, did you teach him this? And what did you teach him about this?
Yeah.
Because any type of legal proceedings, you know, you got to get all the facts out of the way. Because there's a lot of questions. Did he hold it longer than he knew he should have? Was the guy out and then he just was afraid he's gonna wake up and be belligerent again? Why didn't they just subdue him? Why didn't they take a shirt or something and tie his hands? You know, there's a lot of things that can be done. And I gave that.
With so many people involved.
Oh yeah. So it's sad to see this type of stuff. Anytime somebody dies, man, especially from a violent scenario like that, man, it's horrible to watch. It's horrible to see. Self-defense is something that I think that every man, woman, child, and elderly person should have in their arsenal, but you have to be very cognizant of the facts of what could happen if you're involved in a violent scenario. Even if he didn't hold on to him and he choked him and the dude fell, hit his head and died, there's still a liability factor there, which is sad because then it makes people feel like they don't want to be involved at all.
Well, that and I think an even bigger issue is it gives people the idea that they can go and do what they want to others as well. A lot of people really, truly, I think most people truly don't understand how easy it is to hurt another person and how easily hurt you can be by another person as well.
Violence is serious, man. It's a serious thing, man. You can't just act off your emotions. You have to, understand the ramifications of what happens if it doesn't go the way you think it's going to go. Especially if you're in an emotional state, you're not in rational thought anyway. You're not thinking rationally. You're coming from emotion. Emotion it can be irrational. It's a beautiful thing to love someone, to laugh hysterically, to vent sometimes, but there are repercussions for those actions that are brought out of those things, and I don't think people realize that sometimes. If you're on YouTube, like and share, subscribe our content. This is show 60. We've been around for 60 shows, so we greatly appreciate all of our day ones. Shout out to Claudia, shout out to Joan, shout out to Lady Muse. If you're watching tonight, guys, we greatly appreciate you. We've made it to show 60.
Very much appreciated.
We plan on keep moving forward. We're not going to stop.
And technically, we've done like 63 or 64.
Yeah, we had a couple of shoot the breeze episodes. Moving on to our next topic, guys. There's a lot of stupidity going on out here in the world, and we've been seeing lately stuff like this where it's not panning out the way these guys think it should pan out. They think it's some innocent fun that they're having, but it's not. a lot of these guys out there prank. What do you think about pranking? Because I know our friendship doesn't include that, thank God, because I don't like pranks, me personally.
I don't mind pranks, but I think it's gotta actually be funny, man. It can't be something that endangers someone.
Mm-hmm.
In the military, one of the things that we always say, one, it shouldn't hurt the other person, and two, you don't fuck with people's food.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're gonna replace it.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't do nothing weird to their food. Like they like to put salt in somebody's soda and shit when they're not looking.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. That's whatever. But you do something weird, like pissing in somebody's drink, some strange shit like
disgusting,
that.
something nasty.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You don't do shit like that. So I mean, that's just I don't mind pranks. I think comedy has its place in just about everywhere, but it's gotta actually be funny. All jokes do come from the same place, which is the desire to make someone laugh or the desire to laugh. But that doesn't automatically mean that the joke is funny. And a lot of the pranks that we see on the internet these days are really fucking stupid. They're not definitively pranks.
Yeah, it's horrible to watch somebody get injured from something that people didn't care about, man. They didn't care what the outcome would be. I like the scary pranks, because scary pranks to me, as long as people don't fall down and bust their ass or hurt themselves, scary pranks to me, I think, because everybody likes either to be scared or they like a scenario that they think in their mind is so far from happening, and here it is happening. So stuff like that is cool, but I don't like I don't like participating in pranks. Cats sleep and people doing stuff to people when they sleep. I don't like that. It happened to me when I was in senior year and I was going on a senior trip. Someone had hit me in the head with an apple while I was sleeping.
Yeah, see, that's not funny.
Yeah, and of course,
now somebody would have drew on your face or something.
Yeah, maybe it's still. I don't. To me, the friendship is over. If as soon as you do something to me when I'm in a vulnerable state, while I'm in a vulnerable state, the vulnerability is something that's very powerful to me. That's why I always say kids and animals, like, don't mess with them. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to, with animals, cool. You want to fuck with an animal, go fuck with a tiger. Go fuck with a lion. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Go fuck with that pit bull.
If you really mean
it. Yeah. But a small animal that can't really fight you back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's a kind of person. Something going on.
Yeah, something going on with you. Anyway, this lady, man, she was, and we can't show the video because it's kind of violent.
It's graphic.
Yeah, because of what happens to her. So she was in a store, and this happened in California, Orange County. And
listen, man, don't put me out there like that.
What happens? What's this?
Oh wait, are yours arrow ready? Because if they ain't arrow ready, then maybe we might not be wearing the same pants.
So this woman, social media prank leaves mom of 2 hospitalized. A prank goes horribly wrong and lands a new mom in the hospital. So she was a new mom. She just had a baby. As part of a new social media prank, people are sneaking up behind unsuspecting shoppers and throwing a bucket over their head. That's the dumbest shit on the planet. The pranksters then run off, leaving their victim confused and wondering what just happened. But when the bucket prank was done to one woman in Orange County, California, the result had serious consequences. Lana Clay Monahan has epilepsy and a heart condition that was triggered due to the cruel prank. She's speaking out about the scary incident and says she doesn't want others to experience what she has gone through. But they showed a picture of these guys doing the bucket prank. The Stranger Bucket Challenge. The increasingly popular fad of putting a bucket over a stranger's head when they least expected is sweeping across different social media platforms, which is becoming more talked about now due to the incident with Clay Monahan. There are dozens of videos that show people filming themselves putting a bucket over someone's head they don't know and getting their reaction. In some cases, the prankster puts a bucket over their own head to make it seem like someone else was responsible, and people want this trend to stop. This is her. The victim was really scared. Clay Monahan was shopping at her local Target, browsing for baby supplies when a bucket was placed over her head that caught her off guard. The 35-year-old freaked out and told the Los Angeles Times, "I was fearful for my life, but I could hear laughing behind me." She explained to KTLA that she was shopping for baby supplies when the incident happened. "I was looking at some baby soap. I leaned down and my whole world changed," Clay Monahan said. "Everything went quiet, dark, and there was really no air." Well, yeah, that's got to be terrifying for certain people, especially if you have claustrophobia. "Everything went quiet, dark, and there was really no air. I flipped off what was put over me around my neck, and I turned around and looked over my left shoulder. To my dismay, it was a group of individuals who were filming me, seemingly for some sort of prank or maybe for something like TikTok." Clay Monahan has
that is an ugly white bitch, boy. God damn, that white bitch is ugly.
The baby weight won't leave. Clay Monahan has epilepsy and was rushed to the hospital. The new mom of 2 twin boys passed out and woke up to paramedics taking her to Can you imagine that? You pass out and you wake up and they're working on you. Mm-hmm. Taking her to UC Irvine Medical Center, where she was released later that day. She told the LA Times, "I started to say help me when I fell to the ground," she said. "My last memory is people laughing at me." Oh, man. That's horrible, bro.
That's funny.
That's horrible. Funny as hell, but that's horrible.
My last memory was people laughing
at
me. Nigga.
That's a Carrie moment, bro. They're all going to laugh at you.
That's an ugly white bitch. Who cares?
She said, you think that's why they picked her?
I don't think this is newsworthy, man. I get it.
Well,
you know, should they have threw the bucket over the bitch's head? No, but should she been walking around with a bag over her head anyway? Probably.
You cold. That's cold.
That's an ugly white bitch.
That's cold. Everybody say Antonio's cold. That's cold.
She is not attractive.
The new mom of 2 twin boys passed out and woke up to paramedics taking her to UC Irvine Medical Center, where she was released later that day. She told the LA Times, "I started to say help me when I fell to the ground," she said. "My last memory is people laughing at me." Clay Monahan has epilepsy and a heart condition. God damn.
She sounds like a fucking cartoon character.
Which was triggered as a result of the prank, according to Inside Edition. Police say four suspects. You guys are knuckleheads, man. 4 suspects are involved. Just for views. For views, these cats gonna do some time or get some penalties against them. According to local authorities, there are 4 individuals involved in the incident. The Tucson Police Department put out a statement with the following information. On Sunday, March 26, 2023, at approximately 2:45 p.m., 4 male juveniles. See, they're not juveniles.
Nigga, this is not newsworthy. I mean, if they're under the age of 18, technically they are juveniles.
Right, but I don't think they are, from what I saw in the video. 4 male juveniles entered Target and began walking around. Several minutes later, one of them picked up a bucket and placed it over the head of an adult female shopper. Several seconds later, the juveniles are seen fleeing the store. Investigators are looking at this case as an assault and battery. Well, that's what it is.
Oh, no.
That's what it is. While this was meant to be a stupid social media prank, it took a serious turn and police are considering the incident a crime. KTLA reports, obviously in this case it can have some pretty bad consequences. But at the end of the day, it's a crime. Lieutenant Ryan, was that Colonel?
Coe or?
With Tustin Police Department said, "It's an insult and battery on another person and we're going to investigate it that way." Meanwhile, the victim is still traumatized by the event and told the outlet, "I keep looking over my shoulder. I'm a nervous wreck," she told KTLA. "I cannot believe that in my community you can go to Target." I'm sorry for laughing. "I cannot believe that in my community you could go to Target, being Target maybe a mere 10, 15 minutes, and someone will find it amusing to come and strategically find a female by herself in the baby aisle and think that this would be funny or laughable for likes. Hey, the cats that did it, they're white boys. Not saying that black boys.
I'm glad that they're treating it like an actual crime. Call them
terrorists,
criminals, terrorists, all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Castrate them.
Yeah. I mean, look, man. Part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because people need to be careful out there, man. You know what I mean? Like you look at these cats, man. Someone's I'll fuck you up if you did some stupid shit like you. But first off, you gotta be
real light-footed.
You do
behind me and put a bucket on my head.
You do. I mean,
you gotta be super light-footed.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying, man. But I want people to be aware of the stupid shit that's going on out here, whether it's gratuitous violence, whether it's violence that just erupts, or stupid social media pranks, man, where you got these cats putting buckets over people's heads, man. It's a stupid prank, man. It's dumb. Like it's one thing to ask somebody a question and to like this one guy, this lady was shopping and he told her I'm looking for a sugar mama. I thought it was cool. He made her day, and he goes, "Can I feed you a grape?" And he eats a grape. He said, "Can I have one of your grapes?" And she goes, "Yeah." And then he goes, "I'm gonna feed you one." And he feeds her the grape. She's like, "I've been married 26 years." He's like, "I need a sugar mama." She's like, "No, I can't help you." It was funny, it was cute, but pranks of physical violence, pranks of, like, there was one where these guys, they put something over a hole in the floor.
Don't do that.
And the dude fell through it.
See, yeah, that's where it gets into that area where shit, is it really a prank if you got somebody hurting themselves, or you know what I'm saying?
And his so-called friends were laughing hysterically. They thought it was the funniest shit. Or the pranks. There's a new movie.
The shit they do on Jackass. They supposed to do that shit to each other. That white boy shit.
Yeah. There's a new movie called Beef that's on Netflix.
I watched that. That shit is funny.
So you can see how they were topping each other constantly back and forth with their beef. So pranks like that, sometimes you see that husband and wife teams be going at it with each other.
Motherfuckers ended up murdering people and shit on that show.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So people, all I'm just saying is the reason why I'm talking about it. I know he says it's not newsworthy. I'm saying be careful out there. Because a lot of times,
put a bucket on your head.
Yeah, especially when they do it with older people, because that's another thing. I've seen them do pranks with older people, man, physical pranks, and it's nothing for a 76-year-old woman to have a heart attack because of some stupid ass prank you want to do to get likes and views on your Instagram or TikTok. I'd fuck you up. I really would. Don't prank me. Don't prank my family. Don't do that. Don't prank my friends. And you gotta question your friendship if you got friends doing stupid pranks like putting their penis on your face while you sleep and taking pictures.
That's some white frat boy bullshit.
You have to question yourself with that kind of stuff. You really do. Because it's horrible, man. It's horrible to see that this woman did not expect this to end up being like this. She didn't expect to be, laying up in here like this, man. And she got on a neck brace and everything. Because she actually fell down, too, and hit her head in the bucket. When she, you know what I'm saying?
Why didn't she just take the bucket off of her head? Maybe I'm tripping, but after the 2 seconds of shock, I'd just take it off.
Of course.
I mean, I agree with that. It's not like they was beating her ass when they put the bucket on her head.
No, yeah. Well, the thing is they said, she's got these mental conditions. You know what I mean? And I guess it's different for somebody that has epilepsy. I don't have epilepsy. Maybe she thought she was having a seizure, an epileptic seizure, which she eventually did.
I don't think a bucket over your head causes
darkness.
Does that affect
instant darkness?
Does it?
Because it's like the light. Light can trigger.
The
light can trigger epilepsy. So,
but that's the absence of light.
Absence of light.
Does the absence of light trigger seizures?
Well, the reason what triggers seizures is light changing drastically. So the flickering of the light is what triggers us.
I mean, how fast could they have dropped the bucket over her head?
Fast as shit. Fast as shit.
Ah, get her.
Yeah, I watched
so
it.
fast.
Yeah. They are quick, man. The motherfuckers are quick. I ain't gonna lie. I watched several videos of it. And then the people, you know, they do it. They go, oh, and they take the bucket up. They look around. They go, oh. And the person runs around the corner. So you don't know who did it. Then they change their shirt. And then they'll come back around. And they go, did you see somebody? And they'll be like, no. You know.
These devious bucket droppers.
Bucket droppers. Yeah, but I'm just saying, listen, if you're out there and you want to drop a bucket, if you feel compelled to drop a bucket on me, or how about the other guy that does the prank? He goes and he says, boy.
I think I've seen
Have you seen that
about
one?
That.
Yeah. Pass me that, boy. and he always asks the most brolic looking Southern black men, and they're like, what? What you say to me? You see what I'm saying?
That's
like
not a prank, man. That's...
Yeah, but you see, that's my point. It's like that becomes a point where you're stepping on something that you shouldn't be stepping on. You know, you're getting to that point where it's like, you know, here it is, man. That can cause a fight. You know, like remember that man that the dude called him a nigga in the restaurant?
Yeah, the restaurant.
Wanted to flip the hat. He was smacking him. Say it again.
Kept slapping the shit out of him.
Say it again. You know, that wasn't a prank, but the man said something he shouldn't have said, and he felt like he could say it.
She was the wrong person because now they're getting made fun of on the news.
They're getting made fun of on the news, and they're going to get sued, and she's going to get some money from it.
She might get money.
Yeah.
You know, White Woman Tears is like, that's a cash cow.
Well, she'll write a book. She'll do forums.
She should write a book.
She'll do
conventions. She should end up on, I don't know, what talk shows do they have these days?
All of them. The View, all of them. Well, once the writer's strike.
I don't know what's on daytime television no more. Mm-hmm. Lady Muse says, didn't dude just get shot for a TikTok prank like last month?
That's the other thing. Yes, absolutely, Lay. Yeah,
well, that nigga heard it, man. Stop playing with people.
Yeah, he got shot. And then another one got in trouble with a guy. He took his bag at a baggage claim. Black boy took the man's bag, and the man's like, he's like, this is my bag. The man's like, this is my bag. And the man went ballistic on the kid, right?
You don't know what that nigga got in that bag, man.
Right. And he just went, and then when the cops came, they arrested the man because he was just like, oh yeah, the kid was like, I'm pressing charges. Everybody was like, what? You took his bag. But they were like, yeah, nah, but he took it too far. What do you mean
you took it too far when you decided to invade that person's privacy? That's their personal space.
So all I'm saying is the reason why we're talking about it tonight, guys, is to warn everybody about
don't get shot over a bucket.
Don't get shot over a bucket, and be careful when you're on these subways and these buses and in these restaurants, and because you know we're seeing more restaurant fights than ever nowadays. You know, more
that's from people seeing TV and shit and thinking that they
replicate it.
Truly thinking that they can just do whatever they want to other people.
Yeah, going behind the counters and stuff. And there was one chick.
Not just going behind the counter, jumping over. They're very hyperbole.
Yeah.
You know, everything got to be super extreme with these fucking.
Right. And there was one recently. She went behind the counter at a McDonald's, boy, and they wore her ass out. They wore her out, but they beat
Waffle House Wendy.
Waffle House Wendy.
That chick was going crazy.
Yeah, she caught that chair, man, and they actually did an artwork of it. So.
That's hilarious.
You know, you guys got to be more mindful about your surroundings and the people that are around you, that you don't end up being a headline. You know what I mean?
But more importantly, you guys got to be mindful about our Linktree page.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So let me talk to you for a moment.
Kick it.
If you go on over to our Linktree at CMCT show, just a second, we're pulling it up on YouTube so niggas on YouTube can see. Before I continue with this awfully plugged advertisement. Or so abruptly plugged advertisement. If you go to our Linktree page at CMCT_show, you can help renovate our podcast studio. As we have a leaky roof and some punk ass brick walls that are dealing with effervescence or affected by effervescence, and we're looking to do some renovations so that we can get this thing open for the summer to get these kids something to do other than TikTok and Instagram and, you know, the homosexually based cartoons and shit that they got these kids watching these days. We want to give them a different option. You know what I'm saying? We want to give them somewhere where they can go and learn about cybersecurity, IT, where they can learn self-defense and martial arts, and get them into filmography and audio engineering as well. Not to mention some trade shit such as carpentry, landscaping, and so forth. You know, so we're just trying to give the local community, the kids in the local community, something more productive to do with their time, and hopefully inspire them to explore all of their options as they grow into adulthood. Nextly, we got services that we offer. The very first one, see, sorry, going good. The very first one that we offer is personalized video. Now, how personal can personal get? Well, let me tell you, not very personal, because this is not OnlyFans, but we will make you a 2-minute personalized video message for $20 with content of your choosing. Now, don't get crazy. I might not get naked, but I will talk to you
naked
in a very intimate manner and make you feel like we are very good friends. I can motivate you or others, whatever it is that you would like me to do in that video that isn't comparative to sex work. Nextly, for $100 an hour, we can offer you a therapeutic venting session. Okay? Venting sessions are neither therapy nor advice, but we will consult you with additional perspectives and perceptions. We would like to help guide you towards a solution for whatever it is that you're going through, whether that be personal, private, or even just social. You know, maybe you're going through something with a friend or a coworker, or maybe a family member who needs an ass whooping. You know, maybe you need somebody to talk you out of fucking them up. We don't mind doing that. But that could be over video, that could be over phone. We do not do meetups. We will not meet you at Ruth's Chris or nothing like that, unless you're paying for the steak.
Right, well, that's the thing. If they're paying for it.
Yeah, you know, we might do that.
Ruth Chris just got bought up by
some white company.
Another company bought them.
Well, good for them.
Yep.
Lastly, for $150, we can give you a 20-minute interview on the CMCT Podcast YouTube. You're more than welcome to go either live or pre-recorded. Either way, both options do include post-editing so that we can help market and present you to the world as you see fit. So, if you'd like to be interviewed, 20 minutes, great post-production, that is only $150. Lastly, we do take tips and donations and all of that kind of shit. We're currently working on a Patreon as well, but we have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, what is all the other, you know, all of the pay services that y'all be using. You know what the kids say. Mm-hmm. We have an Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Go ahead and Google, change your mind, change your thinking, CMCT show. Thanks, guys. What's next?
Yeah. We'll talk about Snoop Dogg, or we'll talk about, let's talk about Jamie Foxx.
Sure.
You know, that's big in the news right now. Guys, my section is about to turn off. If you lose me, I'm going to switch over real quick to open up another live version. So make sure you look for me if we get disconnected going into this next segment in the next hour. Sorry about it. It's still something that we can't
cannot control.
Can't control. You know, after all that time, it was cool, but now it's an issue again. So we're going to be talking about Jamie Foxx. So if we get disconnected in the next 10 seconds, just flip on over again to find my next live. All right? Because it's going to cut off And there we go. And
just a moment as we await his return to the live so that we can continue on with this show. Happy weekend eve, everybody.
okay. I'm back. Well, what just happened here?
Did it freeze up?
Yeah.
Rapid security response. What?
What is that?
I have no idea. iPhone will apply security response between 2 a.m. and 4. What the fuck is a security
I
response?
have no idea.
I never heard of that.
No, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. You know, iOS, it could be a virus. I don't know. Might be the police.
Popo. All right, guys, we're talking about Jamie Foxx. So come
Talking
on
about Jamie Foxx. Come on in. This young man has been dealing with some health complications. I won't even say old age.
No, it's far from old age.
Just health.
He was healthy. Jamie Foxx had one of the top personal trainers in Hollywood.
I done seen this nigga's real hair. Boy, oh boy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that wig he got on right there looks good, man.
It does look good. They hooked him
crispy.
up for that one.
Crispy, that hairline.
His real shit?
Yeah.
Nah, it's out of pocket.
Right, of course.
Very, very unfortunate. I will check. Thank you. Me and my goddaughter out here sporting the same pants.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Adidas gang. Mm-hmm. We good to go?
Yeah.
Oh shit, let me put up a picture real quick. It ain't the same haircut, but it's close.
Yeah. Not as crispy.
Not quite.
That was a summer cut, the one we just put up on Instagram.
Yeah.
The one on the Vulture magazine. That's, look at the coat and everything. That's the winter.
Yeah, he got all the shit.
Yeah, it's the winter joint.
Jamie Foxx remains hospitalized for medical complication. Family members of Jamie Foxx announced that the actor has been hospitalized on April 12th following what they called a medical complication. What that means is still unclear, but TMZ claims that it was serious enough that family members who were out of town came to the hospital. Foxx made his first statement on May 3rd, almost a month later on Instagram. Appreciate all the love, he wrote. Feeling blessed. As Foxx remains hospitalized, friends and celebrities have been sending their well wishes while Hollywood decides how to move forward with his active projects. His upcoming film, Back in Action, that's pretty ironic, has resumed production with doubles, per reports on April 18th. The Fox-hosted game show, Beat Shazam, will move forward with a replacement host while the actor and musician recovers. Fox, the network behind the show, announced on May 3rd. Below, what we know about the actor's conditions. Why is Jamie Foxx in the hospital? Per TMZ, such a reputable source.
Yes, of course. They know everything.
Per TMZ, Foxx had been working in Atlanta on a film with Cameron Diaz and Glenn Close. Close or Close?
Close.
Glenn Close. Called Back in Action. Foxx has said that he begged Diaz to do the project, her first since Annie in 2014. I don't even know who Cameron Diaz is, man. What does she look like?
Something About Mary. You ever seen that film? No? Okay. All right.
I don't be watching movies.
Yeah.
Either way, we just begged and pleaded on my knees. What? Like, just give the people one more again. Told we? What? Who is we?
Fox has said that he begged Diaz to do the project. So he's talking about he begged her. We just begged and pleaded on my knees, like, just give the people one more again.
Told Daily Pop in August.
Yeah, he basically, she had retired from acting.
I don't understand the sentence structure.
Yeah, they screwed it up. It's basically, he was telling her, he begged her, he got on his knees and just give the people one more once again or whatever.
Listen, man, don't you ever get on your knees and beg. I don't give a fuck what the hell is going on.
I know, man.
Stand up.
I know.
I'm sure he was being a funny nigga, but fuck that.
Right.
We love her. We've been waiting on her, and this is gonna be fantastic. 2 days after being photographed on the set of Back in Action, Fox suffered the aforementioned medical complication. According to his daughter, Corinne Fox, that's my great-grandmother's name, Corinne. He is already doing better thanks to quick action and great care, she added. We know how beloved he is and appreciate your prayers. The family asks for privacy during this time. How is he doing? Fox appears to be in stable condition according to sources. I've heard that he's doing well, Tiffany Haddish told Entertainment Tonight at Tiffany & Co.'s reopening on April 27th. What is Tiffany & Co.? Is that a show or something?
No, I think her restaurant, if I'm correct.
Sounds awful.
Tiffany & Company pretty much reopening. Yeah, she had to close her spot because she had remember we talked about that, her and Ari Spears with that incident.
Oh man, they swept that shit under the rug.
Yeah, they did. Paid them people off and kept stepping.
We have a lot of mutual friends that are keeping me updated. I've been praying really hard for him. Sources including Nick Cannon said Fox was alert in the days prior to Haddish's update. He's still in the hospital and doctors are running tests, but he's awake and alert. A source told People on April 21st they're keeping him under observation. CNN reported the Georgia doctors were still trying to determine what led to his medical complication. They are running tests and still trying to figure out what exactly happened, a source told CNN on April 17th. In the meantime, friends sent Fox prayers and well wishes when news of his hospitalization arrived. Get well and back to yourself sooner than later. God willing, LeBron James tweeted. A Jamie Foxx appreciation post, Kerry Washington wrote in a tweet. Sending you all the love and prayers, my movie husband. Who said that? Oh, Kerry Washington. Whatever. At Martin Lawrence's Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony on April 20th, attendees sent kind words to the star. I didn't even hear about that. I hear he's doing better. My prayers go out for him every night and just wishing the best for him. One of the best that we got in Hollywood, Lawrence said. Not only one of the best entertainers, but a good person. Tracy Morgan and Steve Harvey reiterated Lawrence's sentiment. Kerry Washington she be on them white men. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what she do. I get it. Not really. What's the status of his current projects? God damn. Fox beats Shazam. The game show hosted by Fox and his daughter Corinne has begun filming its new season without its host. That sucks. TMZ reported on May 3rd. The network has moved forward with replacements for the show, which went into production just days before the Oscar-winning actor's hospitalization. The film Back in Action, co-starring Cameron Diaz, paused filming in the immediate aftermath of Fox's medical emergency, but has since resumed production with 2 doubles standing in for Fox, one for stunts and one for photography. This is a developing story.
Yeah. Well, basically, if you don't know anything about the scenario, he had a stroke. We just don't know if it's a stroke of the heart or stroke of the brain. But a lot of times, those two are connected. Now, you guys are going to hear, and remember me saying this to you, you are going to hear in the news that blood pressure is going to be a running issue for people that die. They're going to be saying blood pressure issues, blood pressure. They're going to move away from heart complications. And they're going to blame a lot of things on blood pressure issues. You're going to see that a lot in the news. Just remember that. People are going to be like, men, especially men, get your blood pressure checked, get your blood pressure checked. That's going to happen a lot. That's what you're going to hear about. And, you know, a lot of times when you're hearing that, man, there's always reasons behind why they say certain things. You got to know that.
Absolutely. You
have to know that. And Jamie Foxx, if anybody knows him, you know him, he was healthy. He was healthy. Look, we just lost Lance Rednick. He was healthy.
Who was that?
Bald-headed black guy that, you know. Yeah.
There's a few bald-headed black guys.
Yeah. He was on The Wire.
Oh, okay.
And he was healthy. These are men who are under the age of 60, eat well, take care of themselves, you know, see the doctor. Because, you know, people will say, you know, black men don't like to see their doctors. You know,
you got to keep up with your health, man.
Yeah, and these are also men that have the best of the best, actually. You know, Jamie Foxx is an A-list actor. So he's not hurting for any finances at all. Anything financially that he would have to cover, he can pay for it effortlessly, you know.
Is Kerry Washington is married to a black man?
Yes, she is. Football player.
Really? Yeah. I didn't think that was her speed.
I think Carrie was very big on her career and thinking that she's kind of like girls. What's her name? That plays in oh man, my brain is just farting today. She plays in the Marvel characters. Shit.
The Avengers?
Not the Avengers. But they're part of the Avengers. But the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen none of that shit.
She plays. I can't remember the actor's name, but Gamora. She plays Gamora, but she's a similar actor like Kerry Washington. Came out in the 90s.
She liked to be hugged up.
Yeah, be hugged up with white dudes, and
I get it.
Left out the urban scene as fast as possible.
Zoe
Saldana. Thank you, Lay. Day one. Yeah, so Carrie's. That's how
she been married to him for 10 years.
Yeah, wow. Football player Namdi.
Because I definitely could not tell. Based on her recurring roles.
Her demeanor in regards to roles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she ain't been with a black man in a film in a minute.
I don't think I've ever. I'm sure she has, but I've never seen it.
It's been a hot minute. Shout out to you, Jamie Foxx. Get better.
Yeah, man. Get better, Jamie Foxx.
We just wanted to talk about that because that seems to be rumbling under even more.
Yeah. Shout out to his sitcom, man. His sitcom was one of the best ones.
The Jamie Foxx show.
Yeah, nobody ever talks about the Jamie Foxx show. It was as good as Martin. Mm-hmm. I thought that shit was hella funny.
Yeah.
He's very talented, dude. Not to mention, man, just art in general. Hell of a singer, hell of an actor, hell of a comedian. Mm-hmm.
Has had a very interesting and exciting life, man.
Absolutely.
That's all you can ask for in the end of anything, man. Just, has my life been
something for people to, look back on and share memories where you're impactful. Mm-hmm. He's definitely been impactful. Mm-hmm. So, next.
Yeah, so it's pretty much what we're going to be ending our show with tonight, because we're going to talk about this for a while, but Alan Hughes, man, one of the Hughes brothers, if you know who the Hughes brothers is, they made some amazing films. Minister Society, Dead Presidents, The Book of Eli with Denzel Washington. They're notable for having a run-in with Tupac. Mm. Now, Alan Hughes just recently has directed the documentary of Dear Mama. Okay? The story.
Oh, on Hulu?
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Alan Hughes directed that. Trash? I haven't seen it yet, but this is the odd part about it, brother. Hmm. The odd part about it is that Alan Hughes, he had that spat with Tupac, right? Remember him and his brother. Tupac beat him and his brother up on the set.
Mopreme or another dude. So many people claim to be Tupac's brother.
No. Tupac beat up Alan Hughes. He beat the Hughes brothers are twin brothers.
Okay. I thought you were saying
some other brother. Okay. Yeah. Nah. He beat them up. He fought them.
That's funny because I heard Tupac couldn't fight.
Well, he had guys around him, man.
But he always was willing and ready to fight.
Ready to fight.
Always wanted to first throw a punch.
Loud mouth and ready to go, right? Remember we said, they put a shotgun to my mama's pregnant belly. Because his mom was a Black Panther, so, But anyway, what people are saying is that how is it that this cat gets to make this documentary about Tupac's mom and they never really reconciled?
Isn't she alive?
She's alive, right?
She's in Cuba or some shit?
I guess. I don't know. But would you want somebody you don't really care about directing a documentary about you and your family or your mom?
I don't know if I'm dead. Does it matter, you're saying? If you're dead, does it matter? Mm-hmm. She's not even really in this country, and at the end of the day, likenesses are just trademarks and shit, copyrights and shit, man. I guess it depends on how you feel about that person as a celebrity. Mm-hmm. I personally, I could give a shit. Mm-hmm.
a lot of his fans are really upset about it because they feel like, throughout the years, he's always thrown a little shade to Tupac in interviews and stuff.
Mm.
And how dare the dude feel like he has the right to...
how would you feel if this nigga beat up your brother?
Well, I wouldn't have anything to do with him, first off. You know what I'm saying? Because of that fact. Like, so if my brother got in a fight with somebody, right, and he's wrong, that's his business.
Absolutely.
I've always been that way.
I agree with that.
I stay away from people who will defend someone in their life no matter how right or wrong they are. You know what I mean? If they're wrong, you're still going to defend that person. Yeah, it's like, okay, I don't want to deal with you, But in that respect, if you fought my brother and my brother was righteous in his actions, and you fought my brother, and then years later my brother died, and you feel like you got the right to go make a documentary about my brother, we got a problem. Because you don't have that right in my mind. Y'all never reconciled. You never clean things up.
Well, and that's the thing. So as far as the likeness of Tupac, who is it that has power of attorney over
His
that?
mom.
His mother? Mm-hmm. Has she spoken out about this?
She hadn't said anything.
I thought she was supposed to have been dead.
I thought so too.
But I know people were saying that she escaped. They always say revolutionaries escaped to Cuba. So.
Well, we saw that on Snowfall, what that was all about.
They did that down there, yeah.
And what happens to the people that claim
he got killed over there.
In Puerto Rico. So
young black man Denzel Howard in the house. Excellent young film producer.
Yeah, man. Check him out. Check him out.
Denzel Howard.
Denzel Howard. Looking to see what your next film is going to be.
Yep. At the Denzel Howard on Instagram. Check
yes, sir. And you have a personal invite to Antonio and I's film. Once the completion of the post, we have a screening. You definitely have to be in the spot that
must
night,
be.
Man. Must be, because it'll be done up right, red carpet and everything. So yeah. Anyway, that wasn't so much the main conversation, right? Everybody was talking about that. The fans were talking about that. Mm-hmm. What really brought some heat to the conversation was in an interview that Alan Hughes had on this podcast. He mentioned that he was also doing a biopic of Snoop Dogg. And he mentioned, firstly as a joke, but kind of seriously, that the lead would be a British actor. And people went nuts in the comments. I was one of those people. Because not only, we're going to talk about this as well, he mentioned that British actors are more trained, well-trained, and more, adequate as actors. They always mention that bullshit, but...
British TV is actually some of the worst television on this planet.
Yeah, but let them tell it. It's amazing, you know what I mean?
Some of the worst television on the planet, and even their comedy is horrendous. But hey, anyway.
Yeah, what do we know, right? They're better in every capacity. So...
They're cheaper.
Yeah, they're cheaper. That's always what they say, cheaper. Which is, a contradiction in terms as well. Well, no, because you still, Dub C was Desmond Idris's dialect coach.
Yeah.
And you had to pay him to be on set, and you had to give him those same provisions in order for him to do the best job that he can do. That's a lot of money in the budget.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? So they may be cheap in their salary, but they're not cheap in the accommodations you got to make. You bring them in, you got to get their work visa, that costs. You got to put them up in an apartment, that costs. You got to give them a vehicle. These guys get carte blanche. People don't know that. That's part of what makes me upset, because it boils down to economics. Because you build these British actors, they come over here, they use the black community as a stepping stone to build up. They, most of these guys, they did King Lear over there. They come over here and they're playing Pookie in a movie as a thug. So you mean to tell me out of all the thugs that exist, you can't find somebody in South Central that could play this role?
And actually change their life?
I mean, yeah, because then if they decide to do some business, they're going to do it here in the States. No, these guys, once they get to a certain level, they go back home. They build their production companies over there. Every last
one. Which is understandable.
Yeah, because you're going to look out for your own.
But is that something that we should be contributing to?
Absolutely. And black people don't understand that. They don't get it. They go, I'm rooting for everybody black.
Is everybody black rooting for you, though?
That's right.
That's the real question.
That's the point. Yeah, that's the question. So anyway, we're talking about this. Snoop Dogg reveals details about his untitled upcoming Alan Hughes directed biopic. He teases the British actor as the lead. It has to stop. Do you know Bob Marley? The Jamaicans are in an uproar because there's a British actor that's cast as Bob Marley. And they're like,
"Oh, who said that they could make the movie, man? Who's in charge of the likeness? Who's in charge of
his family?
Of all of those things?
His family.
That's something that they gotta have say over.
Well, some of the kids, the older kids, one of them in particular wanted to play his father, kind of like how with
Big Meech.
Yeah. And also not Dr. Dre,
niggas who look like each other a lot. I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about? Ice Cube's son.
Oh yeah.
He did a phenomenal job, right?
I didn't watch that shit.
You didn't watch it? Oh no! And you from LA? You from California? You from Bay Area?
I'm from Northern California.
Okay, yeah, but anyway, we you gotta watch it. It's actually a really good movie.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, you should watch it. You should watch it.
One day.
Yeah.
One day. Snoop Dogg reveals details about his untitled upcoming Alan Hughes directed biopic. Teases British actor as lead. Snoop Dogg's biopic is one step closer to completion, with director Alan Hughes confirming that the film about the rapper will begin production soon. That's next. We're starting this summer. I'm so excited, Hughes told in an interview. Hughes told who in an interview? Interesting. Hughes, an Emmy and Peabody Award nominee whose credits include Menace to Society, Dead Presidents, The Book of Eli, and The Defiant Ones, will direct the untitled Snoop Dogg biography. The Universal Picture announced... What? The Universal Picture, announced in November, is the first feature produced by Death Row Pictures following Snoop Dogg's takeover at Death Row Records in 2022, so he hired him for sure. He surprised me with that biopic, Hughes said, of signing on to the film, which is billed as the definitive take on Snoop's life and career. I can't wait to go back to the hood and do a hood story that becomes inspirational. That's what I get from him. Turning around to look at the rapper, who was posing for photographers outside the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures in Los Angeles with his wife Shantae Brodus and their sons Cordell and Corday, Hughes continued, who's more beloved than him in the world? He's got such a special energy and I can't wait to do it. This is the actor, or is that actually Snoop?
That's Snoop.
Looks goofy. But who's playing Snoop Dogg? That's the $1 million question, Hughes added. Joking. It'll probably be a Brit. Snoop also expressed his excitement for the film, which is being written by Joe Robert Cole, co-writer of both Black Panther flicks. With the biopic, I'm looking forward to people seeing this right here, this love story, Snoop Dogg said to Variety, hugging his wife, Brodus, closely. To see the love that I have for my music career, the people that have inspired me to love, just watching it all unfold, coming to a theater near you. Keep an eye on Hip Toro for the latest news and updates.
What do you think about that? First of all, are you a fan of Snoop? Did you enjoy Snoop?
My mom was a fan of Snoop Dogg. I don't really.
Mm-hmm. Do you respect him as a rapper?
I respect him as an artist.
Okay.
I don't think he's a great rapper.
Well, a lot of his stuff was written in the very beginning anyway.
Yeah, excellent performer, man, and even like Dude said in the in the article, man, he's a hell of a personality for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely a personality.
One of the coolest niggas that ever existed, honestly. West Coast legend for sure. Even a rap legend. I'll give him that. Has he done anything monumental other than?
No, of course not.
Other than money, he made a lot of money, man. He's a great businessman. Mm-hmm. This nigga, he got cookbooks and shit with Martha Stewart. That's impressive.
Line. You got cannabis out there.
That's creating a lane for a lot of rappers, depending on how it is that they handle their business for sure. Mm-hmm. I think that's an inspiration, and not even just rappers, but black entertainers in general. To see that there doesn't have to be a barrier. Mm-hmm. In a roundabout way, you could still be a real nigga, so to speak, and also go and do different things. Like this motherfucker be in everything you could think of.
Anything dealing with a pimp, anything dealing with
he did all of that kind of shit already. But
yeah.
I'm saying the other shit, nigga. He got a cereal with Master P and the cookbooks with Martha Stewart and
a show too. They had a show.
Yeah, they got a show together, and he's done a lot of different business collaborations with motherfuckers overseas, white people.
They love him. They love him.
You know,
they love him. He's the epitome of what they think black culture is overseas.
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, that's true.
He is the epitome.
Is that a good thing?
No, obviously not my opinion. But you know, I see him pop up. I'm like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? You know, white people, Snoop Dogg. You know, it's wild to see that.
Do you think he's white people's good nigga?
No, he's their bad nigga that they can control.
What has he done that's bad? I know he beat a murder case.
Part of that.
Years and years ago.
Part of that.
Was that authentic? I don't know. It could have been a stunt for clout.
Yeah,
as a rap artist at that at that time, because it was serious, and in the '90s you had to actually be about what you were talking about.
You shot somebody or you was shot. You know, 50 Cent, you know, for the first 3 years of his career talked about being shot on every talk show.
But he actually was.
Yeah, he did get shot.
That shit. Well, not even that, but that shit was real. You know, he was a troublesome. He's still very hellacious, but he's found a way to
hellacious with money.
To translate that into
business,
and you know, and create a platform for himself, be very successful.
The issue that I have is, you know, the thing of talking about what Alan Hughes was saying in his interview. He was very adamant about British talent being better than Black American talent. You know, talking about the British, you know, the actors were so much better because they have, first off, you know, the whole thing is, well, they have theater over there. Well, we have theater here as well too. We do have actors that, unfortunately, because there's not a strong push for people to get out and find a new talent, you know, since you're grooming a lot of British talent here, you don't get to see the people who are doing theater, the people who are in acting studios, who are busting their ass. They're very serious about their craft. But when you hear that type of stuff, the number one thing is they're better because they're submerged in talent. They're submerged in Broadway, not Broadway. They're submerged in the theater, and they've been doing it since they were kids, which is a lie, because a lot of these new talents that's coming out from over at the UK are people who were in the music realm, UK rappers, UK singers who are acting. So a lot of them haven't been doing theater since they were kids. The second thing of them being cheaper, they're not really cheaper, because you have to, first off, like I said, understand that they're always going to have a dialect coach. I don't care how great their accents are when they come over here, they still give them dialect coaches. And a lot of them are groomed, a lot of them are built up. They have a place to stay, they have a car, they have their visas taken care of. They don't come over here broke. They come over here well taken care of, and they're put in films. They don't audition. A lot of them do not audition. They go right into projects because they're offered roles. And then there's this thing where when you're looking at someone like Alan Hughes, who you started your career with black talent, Black American talent. You know, Minister Society have some of our top actors in your film. Samuel Jackson's in the opening moments of Minister Society. You know what I mean? Dead presidents. And this is coming off of, too, what Lorenz Tate had said about British talent. And, you know, that they feel like they appreciate British talent more. Which there's a truth in that, because they feel like they got it better than us. But it's like, the thing is that they have more opportunities. If I was just grabbed off a stage and put in a film, then of course I would have more opportunities to fall on my face until I got it all together. Talent is something that is cultivated. You know, a lot of people are not born talented. Some people have to experience themselves to know that they're talented. They have to build that talent. It's not something that somebody just hatches out the egg. Somebody grooms that talent. They build that talent up. It's the spark that you see in an individual, and you take that spark and you expound on that spark. But, you know, that doesn't mean that some people are overnight sensations. And black talent, man, we suffer, we struggle. You know, part of the problem of these Brits coming over and doing these roles is they're taking a lot of that finance back overseas. They're not putting it back into the community that helped get them to where they got. So that's just my 2 cents on that. You know, I think it was very, very frustrating to hear some of the things that Alan Hughes said. You know, I respect him as a director. You know, I own some of his movies on Blu-ray, you know, because I believe in what they had did. They pushed him and his brother to create the movies they created. Dead Presidents and Minister Society are classic films. You know, is it cool to say, hey, you know, the British talent, they're really putting it down over the American talent right now, you know? It's kind of foul, man. I just saw Kelvin Harrison Jr. in an amazing film. And you have someone like Lakeith Stansfield, and you have, you know, Jeffrey Wright, and you have all these brilliant, talented actors of different age groups. You know, you have people on the rise, someone like Coco Jones, and you know, you have all these strong female actors that's up and coming. Dominique Fishback, you know, some of my talented actors, Daphne McGarry-Clark, and Janessa A. Morgan, and you know, Jaleesa, and you know, people who are on the rise that if you gave them an opportunity, they would do a phenomenal job. You know, Dizelle Yvette. You know what I'm saying? I can go on and on and on actors that can pick up some Shakespeare and do Shakespeare just as well as they can do Boys in the Hood or August Wilson on stage with accents. Delon Holland, you know, did a British accent on an episode of Being Mary Jane. At the age of 27, he played a 12-year-old with a British accent. I mean, we don't get no love, man. And when you see and hear stuff like directors saying that, it's like you guys did a nationwide search or a worldwide search for over a year, and you couldn't find the actor. You had to go with somebody that was British. You know, there's this picture on my side. You guys can see it, but unfortunately Antonio is not here. There's this picture of, if I can find it. A lot of times, if you're watching right now, this is an exclusive on mine. There's a picture of Sophie Karobi Sophie. I can't remember which way it goes. But if you're watching right now, you're seeing that this picture is from the original pilot of Snowfall.
Do I have it?
I'm going to send it to you right now because I know your audience is going to want to see it. Okay, just send it to you. So this picture, and I've been telling people for a long time because I had several actors who I coached throughout the years. One in particular, if not two of them, was on this pilot. And Karobi Sophie, that's his name, Karobi. He was the original Franklin. And this has been making the rounds because the original uncle was played by the guy that played Peaches on the show.
D. Ray Davis.
D. Ray Davis was the original uncle in this pilot. And what's her name that was married to the rapper that got shot and killed?
Lauren
London,
yeah, Lauren
was the original auntie in this pilot. And Karobi was the original Franklin. So people don't know this. You know, they go, oh man, you know. And what happened was this pilot, something had happened where they shot this pilot. They loved the show, but it ended up being where they were bringing in different directors and they were bringing in different actors to play different roles after this pilot was shot. I would love to see this pilot.
I'd watch the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that? I'd have to see their chemistry, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Lauren London and D. Ray Davis.
No, I don't either. But
To be honest,
as far as Karobi though, would he have been a great Franklin? He's from L.A. He had the job.
Well,
initially.
I don't know. Was he a good enough LA nigga though?
I've seen Karobi play LA many, many times. It's like second nature for him. Second nature. The swag, everything. You know what I mean?
Of course.
The voice, all of it.
Yeah, Franklin really didn't have an LA kind of swag or voice to him, to be honest.
Right.
But he was also supposed to be someone who's eloquent. Like, I don't. Only time I ever really sound like I'm from the Bay is really when I'm talking to my dad and shit.
Mm-hmm. It comes out.
Yeah, you know, or my mom and sisters and shit like that. But the general public, or even like when I'm on here, not really.
Yeah. Now I'll pound the pavement for about 2 days and I'll sound just like I've been in New York. Still, it comes back.
It does.
So it's very interesting to see that. And the reason why I'm saying that because people say, well, you know, John Singleton picked a British actor for a reason, and they don't understand the economics. That's what I'm schooling everybody on. A lot of these shows that you're seeing has European money attached to it nowadays. So it's not that the actors are better from Britain. It's that they are connected to that.
They have a more their network is more accessible.
Yes. And that's how they funnel the talent in through these projects. So just if you've never seen it before, I saw it and I was like, you know what, let me show everybody this. Because they would never know.
I'd give it a shot.
You know.
I'm sure somewhere somebody has access to the pilot.
Oh, yeah.
The original filming.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of making me thinking about D. Ray and Lauren London playing that role.
It might have been.
Not to hate on them at all, but.
Well,
I don't see the chemistry.
Yeah. They ended up giving him, Peaches after that.
Which I thought he did an excellent job in that role.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't understand him getting on dope and shit, but niggas smoke crack every day.
Right, and still functional. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So it's interesting to see that. What did Lady Mia say? Because I know she's.
Kofi is fantastic, but not too much.
Right. Yeah. And so is that the fault of Kofi or is that the fault of who cast him? Because John Singleton, he cast, we got to remember for Baby Boy, he cast, Tyrese Gibson. That was his first major role.
He's from?
He's from LA.
Is he from LA?
Yeah. And that was his first major role. John Singleton had a tendency of casting, dark men for a specific role in LA. Like he always had that prototype. You know what I mean? Because originally Tupac was supposed to play Baby Boy, and he had went and got Tyrese.
I did hear that.
Yes, that was the original plan. But Tupac died, so he had to find somebody. But with this situation with Snowfall. And I'm only saying this because I like the show and I like what Damson Idris did. Like, I'm not knocking that.
I thought he did an excellent job in the show.
But would Sarobi had done a great job too? You know what I mean? Because if you look at the first couple of episodes, it is kind of shaky. It is shaky.
I wasn't convinced, especially like that weird walk that Franklin had. I never understood what the purpose.
It wasn't an LA walk. You knew that. It wasn't a California walk.
It was very strange.
Yeah, but that was
the weird. That was slouched over.
Yeah,
with the arm swinging. I didn't get that.
He that was probably his interpretation of what he thought the character should have been, not understanding that for...
It's supposed to be him being demented or something.
Right, but not understanding that Franklin would never walk that way because he got...
I know damn well that nigga Rick Ross was not walking like that.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
No way in hell.
You know, so they probably schooled him to let that go. Like, you need to let that go. That doesn't look right. Whereas you look at someone...
Well, no, he kept doing that shit throughout the whole show. You know, for whatever that was about. I'm not an LA nigga, so I don't really care.
So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, especially people out there who, in their mind, think that British talent is better. They're quick to say that. First off, for me as a black man, I don't ever believe that anyone's better than me, and you'll never hear that come out of my mouth. Just like I would be quick to not say that I'm better than anyone else. Like that, I don't believe that. I think we all have our good graces and our greatness in what we do. But when I hear that, there's something wrong to me in regards to black people saying that. But you know, Alan Hughes,
say you gotta beat me.
Alan Hughes did. He ended up saying, you know, I'm a biracial child. So I was like, okay, that's that. You know, because he was just like, you know, we did the ghetto films and we wanted to show that we could do the other stuff that was out on a higher level. And I was like, wow. When he said that in the interview,
a nigga is a nigga.
Right.
Is a nigga.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was very odd to hear him say that. But at the same time, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, when you hear people say that, well, they're better. And it's like, don't you guys understand that everybody in the world want to be like black Americans?
Yes, they do. The entire world is emulating us.
Yeah.
I'll never stop saying that.
Right. And so it's always odd to hear brothers be like, well, you know, they're better at it than us. And it's like, well, what did we do in the 90s and the 80s when black people was making this renaissance in film if we didn't have
some
any
of the
British
best movies ever?
Yeah. And none of the talent was British.
Shit like Love Jones.
Love Jones.
What a good fucking
Color
movie.
Purple. What's Love got to do
Was
with
Color Purple a good movie?
It was an amazing film. I mean,
Color Purple was comedy.
It was very misandrist in every capacity, man. You know, black men ain't shit movie. You know what I'm saying? But there were moments in it that were
comedy gold.
Yeah, and that made you feel something, man. That last church scene when she's going up in there, man, and it shows you the power of how we make music as black people and how we can invoke stuff in each other. When she's in that church, man, and the whole band and gospel choir is going, if you don't feel something, you ain't human when that part happens. And she says, see, Dad, sinners, you know, they love God too. And he just loses his mind and falls on her. You know,
I thought it touched my heart when Oprah was down at the juke joint being a hood rat. You know what I'm saying? She was watching.
No, it touched your heart when Oprah knocked that white man out.
That's it. You know, she was down there. She was like, these niggas down here acting up. I kind of fuck with this a little bit.
Right. And she ended up on, you know.
Getting it in. I understood that.
Working it out. So,
I understood that.
Yeah, no. Listen, man, we are a powerful culture, man. We're a powerful people. And I think when you get someone like Alan Hughes saying what he said in that interview, it diminishes our power because it's like they're quick to say, see, your own people believe that. We're better than you.
He's not our own people. He's biracial.
Right, in his mind, He was quick to say that in the interview. So
that's a shame.
Yeah, I've said enough on my soapbox today, man. You know, in regards to that. So we probably need to go ahead.
Fuck British TV. That's my opinion.
I do like. Have you watched Top Boy? You need to watch Top Boy. Top Boy.
That sounds like some gay shit to me.
No. I would think so. But, you know, it's a British moniker, man. So but Top Boy is like about these two brothers who they're not blood brothers, but they deal with the drug game in Peckham, UK. And what they have to do in order to keep things going. And they got one more season coming up. So you got something you can binge. You'll enjoy it, man. You'll enjoy it because it's kind of like The Wire, but it's the UK version of The Wire.
But they got that voice. And I'm probably alone on this, but I do not like the English accent.
The accent,
I fucking cannot stand the English accent.
I just watched the trailer for the new Top Boy. And I had to put subtitles on first time ever. because I'm like, you guys are not even trying to make it understandable to us as the audience. So
let me tell you what I figured out about the British accent. The reason why I don't like it. The way that they say their words, people think that they're not enunciating the T's and all of that shit. Mm-hmm. It's not that they're not. But say something like Patrick. Mm-hmm. They don't like saying, they feel like joining the word together at the conjunction or whatever, the TR. They think that that's saying the letters twice. Mm-hmm. That's why they don't say it. So they'll say Pat Rick. Mm-hmm. Pat Rick. Mm-hmm. Instead of saying Pat Trick. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For whatever reason, that's how they split their fucking words up, and I don't like that shit.
Well, I tell you,
the fuck out.
I tell you what. When you watch something like Top Boy, you see the influence that we as Black Americans have. Just like you were talking about that Nigerian show, Rich and African or whatever on Netflix. Yeah. You see the influence that we have as a culture because they're doing everything they can to be like us.
Sure. Now something too, if you know who Thomas Sowell is, I've been studying some of his works lately, and he was saying that the Southern accent in the United States, what's considered to be the American accent, actually came from the trailer parks, like the rednecks of the UK. Mm. If you go and look at some of their older commercials and advertisements and shit, they say y'all. Yeah. We be doing this, we be doing that, and all of that kind of stuff. All of that came from over there. I never knew that. Mm-hmm. You know?
Sounds about right.
But that came from them having us, only dealing with the lower class over there, and then sending us over here to continue, under that same, I'll say oppression.
Oppression, yeah. Yeah.
But that's where the Southern accent comes from. Mm-hmm. It actually comes from over there. Mm-hmm. They're ghetto white people.
Broken dialect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a movie called Snatch where you see the gypsy form. There's like about 4 different versions of the Brits and how they speak over there. The Irish, the Peckham, the British standard. And there's you can hear it in the movie how they all speak, the different strong accents and the different dialects. No, I just I don't have a problem with their talent. I don't have a problem with their accent because I can use the accent. I know people can do it.
I can do that stupid shit too. It just sounds terrible.
Yeah, the problem that I have is when there's this thing where you got people saying that they're better.
That they're better at being us than we are.
Which is insane. It's insane. It's illogical to say that, Hamlet or King Lear can make it easier for you to do a West Coast accent or a Brooklyn accent.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It's asinine. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So, I'll fight that to the day I die. Will I work with a British talent? Yeah, of course. But at the same time, that's part of the reason why I'm in that space, because I'm like, yo, you're not better than me. Don't get it twisted. I had a phone call today with somebody I'm doing an acting gig with, and the person was on the other end literally trying to tell me how to act the scene. I'm just like, you don't do that. You don't do that. But they don't know better. You know what I'm saying? So always remember that, Lady Muse. When you got somebody in a circle and y'all working on lines and stuff and they're telling you to do it this way, in your mind, you're like, fuck you.
Remember that they're better than us.
Being us. Right, absolutely. Absolutely. What did she say? Lady Muse.
She's laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, we're going to end a little early tonight. So
happy weekend eve, man.
Yeah, happy weekend eve. We will see you guys on Tuesday next week. It may be a shoot the shit episode. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. Yeah. We'll figure it out. No? We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Let the man drink his water. We'll talk about it.
God damn. Couldn't swallow. I'll be here Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay. All right then.
Don't leave out till Friday. So.
Okay. Well, we will see you guys next Tuesday for sure, and catch us on Thursday. And I will be right back. Somebody said that.
You're a little late to the party. Baby.
Yeah, nah, it's oh man. All right, guys.
Well, later. Appreciate y'all.
Stay away from buckets.
Cash Appers.
Stay away from buckets.
PayPal. Venmo.
And watch your back on them subways and buses, man.
We take crypto too.
No doubt.
If you got EBT, you know what I'm saying? Send us the card number and the expiration date. Yeah, it'll catch you. Muscles on this lonely pack. I stay calm and fat. I've been on the grind so long, hoes can never call me that. I'm your mistake. I don't want the thoughts of whack. Keep throwing darts and wax. I'll melt you. Every beat got a birthday. I just make it special. If you came to wrestle, maybe we can do that. Chapman bring the doses and show you where your shoes at. Exactly where the proof at. I ain't gotta prove stats. I don't need the hookup. I've been staying blue black. Straight from where the news at. Life size showdown.